6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister will undertake an official visit to the United Arab Emirates tomorrow. Shehbaz Sharif says record surge in the Pakistan Stock Exchange reflects the confidence of the investors and the business community in the people-friendly budget. The Finance Minister says tariff rationalization is a major step in aligning Pakistan's trade and industrial policy with global standards. Pakistan diplomatic mission led by the chairman Pakistan People's Party in London has welcomed the American president's willingness to help resolve the long-standing Kashmir dispute. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the 34th anniversary of the deadly massacre of Chota Bazar, Srinagar was observed today. The Israeli forces have martyred 38 more Palestinians in the besieged Gaza. And now the news in detail. The Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif will undertake an official visit to the United Arab Emirates tomorrow. The Prime Minister will be accompanied by a high-level delegation including the Deputy Prime Minister Mohammad Ishaq Dar, federal ministers and other senior officers. He will hold high-level meetings with the United Arab Emirates leadership, including a bilateral meeting with the President of the United Arab Emirates and ruler of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. A wide range of bilateral, regional and global issues of mutual interest and concern will be discussed during the high-level interactions. The Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif has expressed satisfaction over the stock market reaching a historic high of 124,000 points. In a statement, he said the bullish trend in the stock market reflects the confidence of the investors and the business community in the people-friendly budget. He mentioned that no additional tax burden has been imposed on the common man in the budget. An increase in salaries and reduction in taxes will provide relief to the salaried class. The Prime Minister said the journey of economic development has begun. He said we all must work together to improve the life of the common people. He said reduction in inflation, increase in foreign exchange reserves, remittances and exports have been made possible due to the tireless efforts of the economic team. The Prime Minister said Pakistan's return from the brink of default and the beginning of economic stability and growth is nothing short of a miracle. The Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb says tariff rationalization is a major and important step in aligning Pakistan's trade and industrial policy with global standards. Speaking at a post-budget news briefing in Islamabad today, he said the budget 2025-26 envisages measures to increase the competitiveness of Pakistan's exports. The Finance Minister said in a major step towards structural reforms, the federal government has eliminated additional customs duty on 4,000 tariff lines out of a total 7,000 and also reduced the duty on a further 2,700. He said the initiative marks the beginning of a phased plan towards a simplified tariff regime, ultimately targeting an average tariff rate of just over 4%. Mohammad Aurangzeb said this is a structural reforms process that was not undertaken in the past 30 years. Highlighting the significance of the policy shift, he said the reduction and elimination of customs duty on thousands of tariff lines will enable more efficient allocation of both capital and human resources within the economy. The British High Commissioner Jane Marriott called on the Deputy Prime Minister Mohammad Ishaq Dar in Islamabad today. They exchanged views on Pakistan-United Kingdom bilateral relations, regional and global issues of mutual interest. The two sides also discussed cooperation at the multilateral fora, particularly at the United Nations Security Council. The head of the high-level parliamentary delegation in Pakistan People's Party, Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, has welcomed the American State Department's recent statement expressing President Donald Trump's willingness to help resolve the long-standing Kashmir dispute during his tenure in office. Addressing a news conference along with other delegation members in London today, he said the repeated statements on the part of President Donald Trump reflects that he desires to establish peace between Pakistan and India. He, however, regretted that the Indian government wants to sabotage President Donald Trump's noble initiative for peace. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari said Pakistan desires peace in the region through dialogue and diplomacy. He emphasized the resolution of all issues, including that of Jammu and Kashmir dispute, through dialogue. He said peace between Pakistan and India is in the interest of international community. He said India's narrative is based on lies and propaganda, while that of Pakistan on truth and peace. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari said terrorism is a tool of the Indian foreign policy and mentioned that India has targeted Sikh activists across the world. This is Radio Pakistan giving you the news. The Minister for Railways, Mohammad Hanif Abbasi, has said 1,050 railway stations will be shifted on solar power by the end of this year. Presiding over a meeting in Lahore today, he directed the authorities concerned to conduct immediate inspections of all passenger and railway bridges across the country. The minister said escalators at the Lahore railway station will be made operational during this month to facilitate the passengers. Pakistan has reaffirmed its commitment to promoting labour rights, including occupational safety and gender equality, in line with Sustainable Development Goal 8 and national employment strategies. This commitment was expressed by the Secretary Overseas Pakistanis and Human Resource Development, Nadeem Aslam Chaudhry, at a meeting with Better Work Programme team led by the Director International Labour Organization Better Work Country Programme, Rupa Nair, in Geneva, on the sidelines of the 113th International Labour Conference. He welcomed Better Work Programme's expansion in support of improved labour standards in the garment and textile sectors. He said the program aligns with Pakistan's national priorities, particularly labour inspection reforms, the Decent Work Country program, and the commitments under the International Labour Conventions. The Swedish ambassador to Pakistan, Alex Berg von Linde, called on the Additional Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Mohammad Ayub, in Islamabad today. The ambassador presented him a commemorative shield and the book 75 Years of Partnership, Sweden and Pakistan, published by the Embassy of Sweden in Islamabad. The book chronicles key milestones, landmarks, visits, and people-to-people connections that have shaped bilateral relations over the past 7.5 decades. It also highlights valuable contributions of the Swedish companies, non-governmental organizations, and individuals to Pakistan's development journey. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the 34th anniversary of the deadly massacre of Chota Bazar, Srinagar, was observed today. On this day in 1991, the Indian troops had martyred 32 innocent civilians, including women and children. The victim families still await justice decades after the bloodbath. People today visited the martyrs' graveyard in Srinagar and paid rich tributes to the martyrs. The All Parties Hurriyat Conference spokesman, Advocate Abdul Rashid Minhas, has urged the United Nations to take cognizance of the Indian state terrorism in the occupied territory. He asked the world body to play a role in granting the Kashmiris their inalienable right guaranteed by the United Nations Security Council. Meanwhile, the Indian troops launched a massive search operation in Sadai Ali area of Samba district. On the other hand, India's Border Security Force launched a special arms training program for village defense guards on a war footing in Samba. The purpose of the training is targeting pro-freedom Kashmiris. The Israeli forces, in their incessant gunfire and airstrikes, have martyred 38 more Palestinians in the besieged Gaza. The Israeli airstrikes martyred most of them at an aid site operated by American-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation in the center of the enclave. 3 Palestinians were martyred by the Israeli shelling in the central and southern Gaza Strip. And finally, the weather report. Mainly very hot and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, dust raising and gusty winds are likely in the plain areas during the afternoon. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.